Hello, hello. How am I? How am I? Well, how am I? I'm finding a frog's hair. You know how fine a frog's hair is? Mighty fine, mighty fine. Despite a couple little setbacks with the RC. And I thought I'd explain some of that. But it's all good. Lessons learned. I had posted a video of the 112 gearing in Jora and had it climbing on my course, and it was very jumpy, and that's what I was trying to help improve, kind of slow it down a little bit, give it a little bit more of that crawl. And but I went ahead and posted the video anyhow. I almost didn't post it, and but I got to messing around there, and I was hearing a clicking, and so I noticed that without a load on it, picking it up off the floor and turning it upside down and running it, I was hearing this clicking sound that, while not under a load, was quite a bit more obvious. And so I believe it was the left front tire is where the sound sounded like it's coming from that axle. So I don't know. I got to check and I couldn't find anything wrong. So I did watch a video, and I apologize to the person that had it on there that I don't know who they are. And but anyhow, they said something about shimming them up with the rubber washers. And so I took the worm gear out, and that's what you'd shim up with the washer. And I didn't double up on one end. I put one on one end, and that, like it had from the factory, I put a new one on there, washer. And then I put one on the opposite end, and that took that slack, I guess, out. And it let that axle, I think, set down in there properly. I'm not sure, and it wasn't letting it ride up and down too much on that worm gear. But that solved that. And at this point right now, it's operating just fine. So that's a lesson learned right there. And problem solved. Now, let's move on. And while I was doing these videos and I'd installed the underdrive, I'd also ordered some of these flex they go on the shocks, and they're by Jordan, they're to flex, and to give you more travel and to push your tires down when you're in a, when they're extended. When they need to extend, you'll bring this tire down, it'll touch, make traction, gives a little more travel. And I'll say this, I tried to put those things on 6 ways from Sunday, and there was just no way they work on this stock setup with the stock frame and the stock axles. I think that it's maybe made for an Endura frame, or I think it would even work with this frame because you could put some extensions, you could put spacers in and things. But what I found out is when you done that, you was getting into the knuckles here on the front and things. I mean, no matter what you done to fix one problem, it just moved it somewhere else. And it basically just wouldn't keep the shock anywhere where it wouldn't be binding. That you could feel, there's a catch. And like I say, I tried to make it work, and there's just no way. Eventually, I'm sure I'll go with a wider, a wider axle. But at this point, right now, those flex blades are just not going to work on here. And that's really the only thing I've gotten so far in this build that hasn't been to where I couldn't do a slight modification and make them work. But I know there are some things that just don't go with the axles on the stock with some other parts. And I didn't see it in a video. I didn't see it in any description when I purchased them. But that's the only thing I can think of because there's just no way. Every way I tried to try them to put them on there, they would bind one way or the other. So that's a little bit of a fail, but lesson learned. So it's not really a failure if you learn something from it, and apply that knowledge the next time. But anyhow, that's the update, and we're going to just move right on down the line and work on this thing. It just not doing anything but getting better. I put the Endura all-terrain tires back on these Endura rims. They were just a little bit better than those other. I don't even remember what make they were, and they was just regular. They was rock climbers, and they's all right. Don't get me wrong. They done pretty good, but I just felt that these were just a tad bit stickier, and so I put those back on those others on the Jeep and put these Enduras with the Endura rims back on. Anyhow, lesson learned. A lot of times spent learning. Thank you very much. I hope you got a little bit of entertainment out of this. But you do need to do something when you put those flex blades on there if you have stock axles, I suppose. Till next time, keep it as real as you can keep it.